Another Leetcode problem, subset 2. The only difference is that for this problem we're gonna have a duplicate. Yeah, but let's just try to finish the subset 1 problem first and just try to check what is wrong with the subset 1 for solving subset 2 problem. Yeah, of course you can use a set, but it is not necessary. Yeah, but let's just try to solve it. So we're gonna prepare a final result, and final result is gonna be an array, and n gonna be length of the nums. Now, we're gonna define a backtrack function. So the backtrack inside is gonna be an index I, and the answer is gonna be a temporary array, just to be a subarray. It's gonna be something like that. This is gonna be the answer. If I equal to n, definitely we want to put the answer inside of the result, and we're gonna have a return because we don't need to check this branch, and we want to let the backtracking run quickly. And now we have two decisions. We can select it or not select it, but definitely we're gonna jump to the next number. And first of all, we're gonna select it. So answer gonna plus a nums I. And secondly, we will not select it. It's gonna be the backtrack I plus 1, and gonna be the answer because we didn't select anything. Yeah. Now, let's just sort the nums first. Maybe I don't want to sort it, but let's just run the backtrack. It's gonna be from 0 and empty array. After the backtrack, I'm gonna return the result. Let's just check what happens for this kind of solution, because this is definitely for subset 1 instead of subset 2. As you can see, for the second example it works. We get an empty array and we get a 0, but for the first example it didn't work. What happens is that because there are so many duplicates, actually we don't want to have such kind of duplicates. For example, 2 and 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Yeah, definitely we don't need to have such kind of duplicates, but how can we avoid the duplicates? Yeah, for any array like 1, 2, 2, if we select that number, definitely there's going to be no duplicate, because after select it's going to be updated to next one. The problem is if we didn't select some number, we're going to produce a duplicate. For example, 1, we're going to select 1, or we're going to select 1, 2, or we're going to select 1, 2, 2, or we select nothing. Definitely there's no duplicate. The problem happens is that for 1 we select this 1, and for this 2 maybe we select this 2, and for that 2 we didn't select it, or we have 1 selected but this 2 we didn't select, but for the next 2 we selected. So in this case they're going to be a duplicate. Yeah, so easy way to avoid the duplicate is that we just try to sort the nums first, and if the numbers are equal from the unselected branch for the backtracking, we can just jump it. Yeah, in this way we can avoid the duplicate, because for selection it's going to be 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, but for unselection, so for example, if we select 1, 2, but for unselection, definitely if this 2 equal to this 2, we will not choose the next 2, and we're gonna directly go to the next. Yeah, because we jumped the similar cases, and it's gonna avoid the duplicates. So this means from here, before the unselected numbers, so this is a select, this is why we're gonna plus a nums I, and from here this is the unselect. So before the unselect we need a while check. So while I plus 1, let's say n and nums I equal to nums I plus 1. This means it's gonna be a duplicate. We're gonna update the I plus 1. Now we will not have duplicate. So let me just explain a little bit. So we have 1, 2, 2. So for example, for 1, we're gonna select it. Yeah, maybe this is a branch. We're gonna select 1. And what about the? Yeah, this is a branch. For 1 we selected, or we will not select 1. It's gonna be empty. Yeah, maybe for this branch we're gonna continue. Let's just continue, and the next number is gonna be 2. Yeah. So for 2, we can select it. This is our decision. For the next I, it's going to be this number 2, and we're going to select it. So it's going to become like something like 1, 2. Yeah. But what about the next branch? Because for the next branch, Yeah, because for the next branch, if this I plus 1, this is I is 2. I plus 1 is this 2. If this number 2 equals to this number, we're going to jump. Yeah, this means I going to be here, and then we're going to continue to check, but there's no such numbers. Yeah, so this means for the unselect, we're going to jump to the next one. We're going to jump to this 2. Yeah, and for this 2, we can continue to check. Yeah, so the basic idea is that if we have some 2, for the selection we can choose 1, 2 or 1, 2, 2. We can select it. Yeah, but for the unselection, this is 1. If this number equals to this number, we will not select any number, and we're gonna jump to the next. Yeah. So before this I gonna be here, and then because they are equal, so the I gonna be here. Yeah, and then we're gonna continue to check. So this means it is just to jump all the duplicate cases. Yeah, we only have 1, 1, 2 instead of 2, 1, 2. Yeah, because since we jump to here, and we still have the 2 decisions, we can select this 2. It's gonna become 1, 2, 2. Yeah, but if we don't select it, it is still 1, and we don't have something like 1, 2 because we already have this 1, 2. This is the selection. If this is a duplicate, we will not select anything actually. Yeah, we only keep a 1. Yeah, let me just run it and submit it to check if it works. Yeah, this is because I didn't sort the nums array. Let me just sort the nums array. So after sorting, we can use this kind of a solution. If we didn't sort it, definitely we cannot use. Yeah. So after sorting for the number, if we were to avoid the duplicate, definitely we were to avoid the duplicate numbers. As you can see, it works. Yeah. So it's going to be something like 1, 2, 2, 2. So this is after sorting. Yeah. So first of all, we're going to choose the number 1. This is okay. This is a selection. Or we will not select this number 1. It's going to be something empty. And then for the next number, yeah, we can still do the backtrack to select it, like 1, 2. Yeah, so it's gonna become 1, 2, and we can still select the next number. It may be 1, 2, 2. Yeah, or we can unselect the number. If we unselect, what's gonna happen is we're gonna avoid all those cases because they are equal. This is unselect. Before the unselect backtracking, definitely we're gonna avoid all the all the equal numbers. So it's gonna be just 1. So we have 1, and we have 1, 2, and 1, 2, 2, and we can continue to have this 1, 2, 2, 2, and 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Yeah, but we can avoid all those duplicate numbers. So for example, if it is 1, 2, and all those ones are gonna be the unselect. This means we just have 1, 2 instead of this one and this 2, because we avoid all those duplicates. Yeah, so this is the basic idea. Now we're gonna go to the next branch. So this is empty because this one we didn't select. Yeah, but what about the 2? We can select the 2, and now as all those 2's becomes equal, so what's gonna happen for all those 2's? Because they are equal, so we will not select them. So we're gonna have a single 2. Yeah, and then we're gonna continue have 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2, 2, 2, 2. But for all those 2's after this areas, it means the unselect. Yeah, definitely we will not do anything. So this is the basic idea. This is why it's so fast. I think that's and for the time complexity, I think it is 10 times 2 to the power of 10 for this problem, because there are going to be just 2 branches, select or unselect, and the length is going to be dependent on the nums array. It's going to be 10 times 10 to 2 to the power of 10. I think that's all about it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.